Hey everyone, my name is Kayla Fulton, and this is my project proposal presentation. Participating in the personal advocacy survey gave me great insight into what characteristics that I have as an advocate. The track I've chosen to focus on in this degree is the nonprofit administration track and advocating also for adults and ending the cycle of poverty. But to start, some of the characteristics and what I found of who I am as an advocate is I have the advocate of being a good listener. According to the results, a person with this characteristic hears hears what others have to say and hears their story so they can communicate that understanding to others and even educate others on what others are going through. I love to hear others and their stories and give them a voice to share, empowering them, giving that voice to share what their needs are instead of maybe just assuming what those needs may be or what we think that the solution may be in their case. I also found in this survey that one of my weaknesses, my characteristic I don't have, is the fact finder characteristic. And someone who has this characteristic is someone who does a lot of research to deal with their own biases. I know we all have our own thoughts and biases deep down. It takes courage, I think, to recognize them and to work through them. And most times I know for myself, I don't take this into consideration. So it was a really great finding, just really eye-opening to see that from the survey. So getting into next my areas of advocacy I chose and why. So again, like I said, the track I've chosen is nonprofit administration, and mostly focusing on adult education and breaking the cycle of poverty. So in one of the articles we read, the issues for advocacy in 2022, it shares that one of the issues is international disaster and assistance. And when other countries around the world experience disaster, whether it's from war or natural causes, this can devastate the community and leave them without the necessities they need, like food and water and shelter. And to me, working with some of the nonprofits I've worked with, I have seen these devastations. And that's how it kind of made me choose this track. I think I chose more specifically adult education because I believe we like advocating for others, empowering them will giving them the tools and resources they need will help them create a better life for themselves, but also if they have their family, like they should be adults, the parents are caring for their child. And once they feel empowered, once they have those tools and resources they need, then it allows them to not only take care of themselves, but also their families. So then going next into why I chose breaking the cycle of poverty. As I mentioned before, I've worked with other nonprofits, and this was a huge part of what those nonprofits that I worked with were advocating for and working towards, um, sometimes here in the US, but also in other countries as well. I have I've worked with these different nonprofits in trying to helping people break out of cycle of poverty through um, like helping find the skills and jobs they need or skills to get these jobs that to help them get out of the cycle. Also, not putting them in bad situations where they could be trafficked or they have to leave their families for a long period of time. That is how these nonprofits I worked with are helping people to break out of that cycle of poverty. Hunger and malnutrition is also a huge part of just being in the ending cycle of poverty. If you're not taking care of yourself physically, how are you able to go do these things like go find a job, go work to earn money and to make a living to get out of the cycle of poverty. So I've seen people work with um, locals, whether it would be here or in these other countries as well, to address the hunger and malnutrition issue that we see in our world. So yeah, let's why I chose this area. If I've mentioned it multiple times, yes, my experience is working with these nonprofits. I have worked with 6 nonprofits all over the world: Cambodia, Kenya, Nicaragua, Mexico. And we focus on things like malaria prevention, clean water sources, and women's job creation programs, and just overall the empowerment of others. So empowering them and have they can build themselves, they can get themselves out of that situation instead of a presence of an organization all the time. I think is just a much more sustainable way I've seen. And just being in that has really given me that passion for the 2 areas I chose. And also just for me personally, I have just a desire to see people empowered. And I believe that every life should have hope and purpose and meaning. And just would love to, and I love seeing those redemption stories of seeing people grow and get themselves out of those situations, not because an organization swooped in to play hero, but gave them the voice and the tools and resources to be a part of their story and helping them get out of that situation. I'm really excited to see what you guys think of my areas I chose and just my